What's good? It's your boy, Mixtape Moth, and today I'm going to hit y'all with a review for the new J.Stone album entitled The Definition of Pain. Let's get to it. J.Stone is a rapper coming out of South Central LA who is signed to the late great Nipsey Hussle's independent label, All Money In Records. While J.Stone had been dropping projects for a few years, his 2019 album, The Definition of Loyalty, can be pretty much looked at as his official debut, or as J.Stone puts it, my demonstration. J.Stone is someone who has not had an easy life. On his albums, he talks being raised by the streets literally after losing his mom, brother, and auntie and being forced to live in group homes. So J.Stone has seen it all, but despite all the pain and suffering, he has stayed 10 toes down and remained committed to succeeding in this rap game. And this message of perseverance and resiliency is a big part of his music. So it makes sense as to why he and Nipsey were so tight and why they both shared the marathon vision so vigorously. But let me get straight into this project entitled The Definition of Pain. It's 57 minutes containing 18 tracks, one being an intro. As far as the production, there's a nice balance between chill and up-tempo bangers. I'm actually not too familiar with the names of some of these producers. Dominique Sanders, Mario Ortega, Derek Anderson, Alexandria Dobson, Randy Green, and Willie Pull, but I think they all did a good job because none of the beats were whack. When talking about the features, he's got big name ones like Nipsey, Dave East, Trey the Truth, T-Pain, Cass Doll, Dom Kennedy, E40, and T.I. He also has some lesser known guests like Mike D'Angelo, KO, Liravelli, GP45, and Alexandria Dobson. But with that being said, let me hit y'all with this track by track breakdown. Track 1 is the Definitive Pain intro, where he's just setting up the scene for the album. He's speaking on all the tragedy and trauma that he endured growing up. This blends right into the first song, Chosen, which features Mike D'Angelo. Both J.Stone and Mike D speak on surviving the trenches. As a result, they feel like they are chosen. Mike D'Angelo had a couple dope lines. Have you ever seen a fiend when he shoot his needle and start walking like a zombie? Resident Evil. We was riding with the Mac. I ain't talking about Siegel. This had a dope flute-like beat, but I thought this was a hard way to kick things off. Track 2, All or Nothing, is a laid-back and soulful anthem about being self-made and coming from nothing. The soul sample is dreamy and soothing. I feel both Dave East and J.Stone had strong verses, as well as the female R&B singer who killed the hook. I feel she put a lot of emotion into the chorus. J.Stone reflects back to when his shows weren't packed and when women didn't want to hear his tracks because it wasn't trap. Dave East states, running marathons, lapping dudes before they noticed it. Hussle told us watch who you be smoking with. I took a couple of losses, then got over it. So this was easily one of my favorite tracks on the album. It bleeds smoothly into the next track, County Jail. This had a G-Funk instrumental with an electric guitar. On this record, J.Stone does some storytelling, painting a picture of being harassed by Bloods in the county jail at a young age, but instead of folding under pressure, he stayed 10 toes down and came away from that experience stronger and even more determined to succeed at music. Up next is Soul Searching, featuring Trey the Truth, Liravelli, and GP45. This is an introspective record in which they talk about coming of age and having to do some soul searching to figure things out. I like this syrupy guitar strum beat. It fits well with the theme of the song. Track 6 is entitled Came Up. It's a bass heavy but laid back track that you could ride out to. J.Stone attributes all of his success to staying true to the game and never changing up. He states, I beat some cases like I'm John Gotti. Me and Nip, we like Jordan and Scotty. The following song, City on Lock, is a boastful anthem about coming from the bottom. I like the hazy horn loop. The beat has this cruising around the streets of South Central LA on a sunny day feel. I like the guitar at the latter portion of the track. It gave me some Mike Dean vibes. Y'all know how crazy Mike Dean is on the guitar. Well, that's the feeling I got. After this is Do Better featuring T-Pain. This is a celebratory record about making it out of the hood. The sugary T-Pain chorus actually goes well with this lavish beat. I'm not normally a huge T-Pain guy, but I thought the vibes on here were cool. Immediately following this is You Talk It, I Live It. It's a short but bass heavy record with some ominous keys. J.Stone talks about being a hood dude, staying independent, and actually really hanging around Jay-Z in real life. It was cool, but not one of the highlights. Then on Last of a Dying Breed, he's dropping some game about how to be a real one. It features a standout verse. The journey of 1,000 miles begin with one step. Last of a Dying Breed, there's still some left. I fail over and over just to see success. I've grown now, the planted seed from the west that rose out the mud. You see the progress. Only thing that interferes with my learning is my education. Hope that don't go over your head, Loke. Had to learn some patience. On the next track, Elevation, he talks progressing through the struggle over this smooth G-Funk backdrop. Definition of loyalty was a demonstration. Going up, all I know is elevation. The beat is simple, but one of my favorites because it just has that authentic Cali feel. Right after is I Do the Most featuring Cash Doll. It's pretty much a standard banger with the wavy organ beat. I thought this one was just okay. J.Stone speaks on having LeBron on his phone. Speaking of which, LeBron James is actually the title of the following song. This contains a never heard before Nipsey verse and a feature from Dom Kennedy, who kills the hook, by the way. I wasn't in love with how they mixed Nipsey's vocals in, but it was a solid track with that driving through the city at nighttime feel. I definitely would have liked to have heard J-Rock on this one. Track 14, Hella Toasted, is a pure slapper featuring Bay Area legend E40. It's a fun and up-tempo record that goes super hard. Gotta love the Bay Area and LA joining forces on this one. 40 Water states, I don't snort powder, all I do is drink. It helps me think. As far as bangers go on this album, it's the best one. Up next is What's Beef featuring Dave East. Both Dave East and J.Stone share a bond through a mutual friendship with Nipsey. I feel these two have good chemistry together on the songs that I've heard thus far. This contains a really dope instrumental, which is reminiscent of some production that Defari or Exhibit would have used back in the late 90s. Now, obviously, the chorus samples from Biggie's What's Beef. J.Stone also talks about having difficulty accepting Nipsey's untimely death. Rest in peace, Nip. I'm feeling like they did my homie wrong. Damn, that's some shit I never fathomed. Felt like yesterday we was dipping into Phantom. Now I'm laying flowers at your gravesite, lighting candles. They say God wouldn't put nothing on you you couldn't handle. His words are definitely heartfelt. On In the Air, J.Stone does some justice to Beanie Siegel's classic Feel It in the Air. He states the definition of pain, hustling in the rain with no jacket because I was broke just trying to stack some change. Right after is Started With Nothing featuring Neighborhood Nip and T.I. First off, I love this instrumental. It's such a mellow and soulful vibe. This is a real relatable anthem about coming up. T.I. came through with a real insightful verse as the OG of the track. Yeah, this one was definitely a highlight. The project closes out with the heartfelt Never Loved Us. On top of this somber soul sample, J.Stone drops 3 dope verses, probably some of his most introspective lyrics on the whole album. He talks about when you a real dude, it's like a gift and a curse. So I'm sure all the real ones out there know what he's talking about. Overall, I give this album a rating of 4 out of 5. I think anywhere from a 3.5 to a 4 would be reasonable, but I chose to round up a little higher to a 4. I think it's a solid body of work that is pretty much on par with the definition of loyalty, but I think it's a little better. It actually contains less fat and filler tracks than the 2019 album. Now, there were a couple songs that were just okay. Like I feel maybe he could have gone in depth a little more with some of the themes rather than to just give us some brief from nothing to something platitudes. But as a whole, this was a very consistent and dope project. I think J.Stone's story and the way he presents it in his music is very relatable and motivational. It's clear that Nipsey has passed him the torch, and J.Stone seems firmly committed to carrying out that marathon message. J.Stone is living proof that you can succeed in anything as long as you stay down, perfect your craft, and remain true to the game. My favorite tracks include All or Nothing, County Jail, City on Lock, Elevation, Hella Toasted, What's Beef, Started With Nothing, and Never Loved Us. Let me know what you thought about this project in the comment section below. What should I check out next? It's your boy, Mixtape Moth. I'm signing out, but be sure to hit that like button and please subscribe. As always, it's peace and blessings. J.Stone, Definition of Pain, 1.